All right, so just look at me, ignore the camera and the light. Start off by saying and spelling your first and last name, your position, and your grade.
Okay. I'm Colton Penick. I'm a corner on defense and a wide receiver on offense, and I'm a senior this year.
All right, Colton, talk about the lessons you learned from last year, especially being a two-way player that you're going to take into this year and really hammer home.
Lessons I've learned last year that are probably going to be, we did cover two, learned a lot last year and worked on it this summer, so we're going to use that a lot this year, try to work on that. We had younger kids, a younger team last year, so we're rolling in this year with kind of an older group with a lot more experience this year. And then for offense, we're gonna same way. We're got more experience this year, and we're gonna keep rolling with that.
Talk about the difficulty it is playing both sides of the ball for you.
Yep. The difficulty, conditioning, we stay pretty good first quarter, second quarter, but we roll into fourth quarter. It gets a little tiring mentally and physically, so we've got to stay tight on that and focused. So.
You talked about that you had a very young team last year. You got a more experienced team, is what you said. What is going to need to happen on the field to be successful?
I think discipline. Last year we had, being younger, we weren't focused or we'd get distracted during the games. This year we have 12, 15 seniors. For our school, that's pretty big, so we're going to try to stay disciplined. That's our main goal, and stay focused on winning during the game.
What's going to constitute a successful senior year for you in your class? How far you go? What's going to constitute a successful year?
Oh, yep. So for us, we're trying to break a winning record this year. We believe we can do that. We want to take the milk can this year, especially. That's our last year to beat our county rival, so we're looking for that. So that's all for us.
How would it feel to do all that, to have that successful year?
That'd be awesome. We've been working on pretty hard all summer long. We've had big numbers since March, so we believe we're getting more come August. So we've been working real hard the whole year. So.
Anything else you'd like to say?
Nope.
All right, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so just look at me, ignore the camera. Start off by saying and spelling your first and last name, your grade, and your position.
All right. My name's Camden Hall, Camden, Hall. I go to Prairie Heights. I'm a running back and inside linebacker. And what else?
Grade.
I am a 12th grade this year.
Senior.
Yeah,
okay,
senior.
So talk about the lessons that you learned from last year. The last player I talked to said you guys were really inexperienced this year. You're more experienced. Talk about the lessons you guys learned.
Lessons that we learned, like we need to come as a team more, and like our senior class, I think we've worked with these younger classmen to show them what we need to be better. Like last year, we had some ups and downs, but I think it shows from like what this year we can be a better team.
15 seniors on a football team is just an amazing thing. Talk about the job you guys need to specifically do to be successful.
The job we really need is just show these underclassmen what a real senior need is to do, and show that we are strong enough to help them out and show that we can help them become, our Prairie Heights future, become better people.
What would it mean to the community to have such a winning program as going into your senior
I mean,
year?
this community has our back since day one, and it'd feel really good for them to have a winning season this year.
What would constitute a successful year?
Basically, family. We're a family together. We need to fight together and ride or die with each other on the field. So, yeah.
Anything else you'd like to say?
No, thank you.
All right, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pride. All right, Coach, just start off by saying and spelling your first and last name.
Did you say spell it as
yes,
well? All right.
Say it and spell it.
Patrick McCrea, MCCREA.
Patrick, a lot of the players that I talked to said that you guys were really young last year, and now you're really experienced. What's that going to do for your football team?
Well, I think especially with this group of seniors, they really want to help build up the underclassmen and make everybody feel like we're one big unit. They don't want to exclude people from anything. So our group of kids, having that closeness, I think is something that'll help drive us to be a more successful team this year.
Talk about the 15 seniors that you have. Just what have they meant to your program?
Oh, it's huge, especially this summer, like through the practices and the workouts, these guys pushing the younger kids and in a positive way and not being negative and trying to help them out. And it really does mean a lot to have a big number like that, because it does help with the depth, and especially when you get into the meat of the season, when injuries start happening and stuff, it's nice to have some of the senior core group to fall back on.
we'll move on from the offseason. What specifically on the field do you guys need to do to be successful?
We need to have a really strong running game this year, and we have to move the ball efficiently in our passing game as well. But I think to try and help control the clock, even though we have a big senior class, and I mean, we're still on the smaller end size, numbers-wise, on the team. So, we can't go out and get in any big shootouts with anybody because a lot of our kids are playing both ways.
The players that I talked to said a winner for Prairie Heights would just mean the world to the community. Talk about what it would mean for you to bring a winner to this community.
Well, it was interesting. A few weeks ago, some of us coaches were talking, and one of them had a conversation with some of the boys. He said, some of these games, 5, 6, 8 wins, 20 years from now, nobody's going to remember if you won 3 or 6 games. But they said if this senior group decides to change the culture of how things have been at Prairie Heights, that's what people will remember. So that's kind of what we're challenging these guys with, is trying to change that culture, and that'll have an everlasting impact on the football program going forward.
We've talked about the seniors a lot. What about the underclassmen? Are there any underclassmen no one's talking about that you think will have a very successful year?
Yeah, I mean, our junior class, those numbers have been kind of low for us the first couple years they were in high school. We have a good group of juniors. Philip Sheets, he's going to have to step up and play the back end of our defense, and we're counting on him. And Caleb Manpresser, he's another kid that's a junior that hasn't had varsity experience, but and then we got another junior, Lincoln Booth. He's started. This will be his second year as a starter. So, and he's started a couple games his freshman year towards the end on defense. So he's got quite a little bit of experience. But we got a couple new juniors this year that one has never played football, but we think that he's going to have an impact for us. Fabian Granados, he's probably going to be playing our nose tackle on defense, and then Isaiah Malone. He's going to play football this year. He's a 6'6" wide receiver, so that'll help us out quite a bit on the offensive side of the ball.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Nope. Thanks for taking the time.
No problem.
All right.
Thank you.